assess over the 1.5-mile trip here, and immediately it's the pace-setting Euphoric that takes them along. But also close up is Illinois in the purple cap. He's about 2 lengths down, and it's a 1-2-3 for Ballador at the moment, because Los Angeles is slotting into 3rd place. And there's a break of 2 lengths then back to King's Gambit, who in turns 1.5 lengths clear of Space Legend as the runners move across the back of the Naesmire, heading down now towards the 9-furlong pole. There's already about 7 lengths covering these runners, and the pace looks to be a pretty generous run being set by Declan McDonough on board Euphoric. Illinois racing in second, in the hands of Wayne Lawton. Ryan Moore on the Irish Derby winner, Los Angeles, who has to give weight away all round here. He's travelling ahead of King's Gambit and Will Buick in their red and white colours. And looking on at the rear is Space Legend in the hands of James Doyle. The runners now moving past the 7, and still the pace seems a pretty even one, a decent one, as they move down now towards the halfway point of the race. And still Euphoric galloping up by 2 lengths then over Illinois in 2nd place, with Los Angeles right behind him in 3rd as they take the turn which brings them down this side of the course now, and a run before they get towards the turn into the home straight. Behind Los Angeles is King's Gambit, who's always restrained in his races, up in trip today, and Space Legend looking on at the rear as they straighten up for the judge here with just over a half-a mile to travel. Down the centre of the course here, Euphoric pressing on. Illinois travelling well in his slipstream, and Los Angeles is being given the hurry up by Ryan, but he is beginning to close on his 2 stable companions. King's Gambit is now shaken up by Will Buick. He's also picking up these leaders, and Space Legend is trying to land a blow as well. They're up towards the final 1/4 mile, and Illinois just hits the front briefly maybe. Los Angeles alongside him as the pace setter weakens. King's Gambit under pressure, but keeping on behind them down the centre, but he's ducking left-handed. They're racing inside the final furlong. Los Angeles from King's Gambit and Illinois, with Space Legend on the inside. Los Angeles digging really deep as they race up towards the line from Illinois, and Los Angeles done it. He did it by a neck from Illinois. 1-2 for Aidan O'Brien. King's Gambit, Space Legend, and then the pace-setting Euphoric, 5th and last.
Los Angeles digs it out again, and he does so under that Group 1 penalty. I'm very grateful to Lydia for telling me that this is the first horse since Belmez, all the way back in 1990, to carry the Group 1 penalty to victory in the Sky Bet Grey Voltigeur Stakes, and he's seen off stable companion Illinois, who kept on galloping. And King's Gambit's run a really good race, thrown into the Lion's Den by Harry Charlton, and he came out of it with some credit for all he was battered and bruised by the 2 Ballydoyle bullies, Los Angeles and Illinois. Los Angeles is a tough nut, Jane.
He is, but to credit Illinois and King's Gambit, they kept him honest all of the way to the line. I question King's Gambit's ability to stay 1.5 miles. Well, I think he's proven he certainly does that, because he's beside 2 very stout stayers. Space Legend coming on from behind as well. But I won't lie, with 2 furlongs to run, I thought this guy was going to be impressive, and he's just got home. But you get the impression, Martin, in a better race, maybe with more of an ease in the ground, you're going to see a different prospect.
Yeah, I think he's still green and raw, isn't he? But he's always doing enough through that final 2 furlongs. He does have a good attitude, but still a little bit of immaturity about him. He takes a little bit of stirking up and working into top gear, but Ryan's exactly the man that you need for that type of horse, and he's always doing enough in the closing stages. I think we've got another quick time as well, 2:27.4 around there I had it as, so we'll get official confirmation of the time. The Racing Post standard 2:28.8, so looks like another fast time. We had good even fractions, and then they were really quickening through that final 5 furlongs. The first sub 12 second furlong was the 5 furlongs from home.
2:27.8 the official winning time. That is 2.5 seconds outside the course record.
Yeah,
so
they wouldn't be beating the course record. That was Tamrier on lightning fast ground back in 2019, but it's still
Los
a fast
Angeles
time.
doesn't strike us as a track record breaking kind of horse. He looks
Still
like
a
a horse
quick
that
time,
could
though.
burst lungs and break hearts.
7-2, no change. Los Angeles with Sky Bet for the St Ledger, the Betfred St Ledger. 11-4 favourite from 5-1 with Unibet. It take a good one to take him down, I think.
Lydia's with Aidan.
She is. But we're going to hear from them in just a few moments' time, and we're going to just take the closing stages again. And really, this is exactly how you expected the race to unfold.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how Aidan and his team shuffle the pack with regards to the St. Leger, because still get the feeling that in Illinois and Jan Bruegel in particular, they've got two horses that would have outstanding claims of going on to win a St. Leger, and maybe they will have other things in mind with Los Angeles. But you know, if he did end up at Doncaster, it goes without saying that he'd be pretty hard to beat, having defied the penalty here.
But do they have a better prospect for France? I don't think they do. There's talk of opera singer, but this guy, and we know the Arknick usually ends up on slow ground, he'd be right at home there.
How slow do you think he wants the ground then, to be seen at his very best?
I just think maybe to be dominant, that today he won in spite of it. That's what good horses do, they win anyway. But when he won his juvenile Group 1 last year under Christophe Soumillon, that was on slow ground, and look at him, he really shouldn't be able to do that.
No, he does give off the impression of a big powerhouse galloper, doesn't he? That you know, he's a strong stayer over a mile and a half, and he just gives off that vibe that a soft ground mile and a half race would suit him well. And as you say, when he won last season at Saint-Cloud, it was really deep conditions, so he is proven when it's very testing.
Space Legend has finished relatively close up in fourth. That's a much better run than at Newmarket, for sure. Really
good run from him. In fact, each of the first four have run races where connections will be delighted and proud of them, I think.
So that's two for Aidan O'Brien, for Coolmore and Ballydoyle, and Ryan Moore, with City of Troy to come. Let's take the head on.
It was pretty straightforward from every jockey's perspective. When they went out, I'd imagine they had this patchwork in their brain. James Doyle and William Buick didn't get involved in the early pace of the Ballydoyle set, and they made their play late. Space Legend has stayed on quite well. King's Gambit has done the absolute same, and I'd imagine for Harry Charlton, he can now start thinking that that's a mile and a half is still an option for this horse.
Sure,
definitely. He got the trip, didn't he, in a race that was a proper test. And we know with King's Gambit as well, if he did get a slower tempo mile and a half, he could deal with that fine. And
you're not always, it might happen, but you're not always going to run into three Ballydoyles in a 5-horse race. Here's the winning trainer again.
Two of the group races already here at York on the first day have gone to Aidan O'Brien. The second one, the Great Voltigeur, was a 1-2. Los Angeles beating stablemate Illinois. Many congratulations. You said that this race would inform you about how to campaign both of the first two. What are your thoughts immediately afterwards?
Yeah, well, obviously the lads will make that decision, Lydia, but obviously the second horse does stay very well, and he'd get like a mile and 6 is probably what he wants to be seen at his best, where Ryan's horse can do either. He can go up and trip. He has plenty of class. He was there with a penalty today, and they didn't go over fast in the middle of the race. So he can either go back to an Irish Champion Stakes and run in the first 4 and go on to an Arc, or he can go to a Leger with the others. So it'll be whatever the lads will decide. We know the horse on Goodwood will probably get the trip very well. Wayne's horse,
Jan Bruegel.
Yes, Wayne's horse there, Illinois, will probably get the trip very well, and this horse will probably get it as well, but he would have an option of coming back, if you know what I mean.
I do. He's the first horse since Belmez who won a King George to carry a Group 1 penalty to victory in the Great Voltigeur. Only 2 have tried. Luso, you had the other one, Kew Gardens. Yeah. It's quite a feat.
Yeah, there you go. I didn't realise that. So, but there you go. Yeah. So listen, as you can see, he's a massive, big, handsome, powerful horse. You know. So we felt, but Way's not going to bother this fella anyway. So listen, Alan rides them out every day, and Wayne rides them in their work. So he's in Andrews in charge of him. So Michael takes care of him. But he's a big, powerful, straightforward horse, the Lydia. You know. But I think he has the options. It'll depend on what the lads will want to do.
You mentioned that lull in the centre of the race. The way he went through that race, an end-to-end gallop at a mile and a half, such a strong stayer at it. You surely tempted by the Arc.
Yeah, an end-to-end gallop would suit him even better than today. Today was an even pace without going mad. Declan's horse was a little bit lazy in front through the middle of the race, and and Wayne's horse we know Stales very well, and he looked like he was going to lose second, Wayne's horse, and he came back for him to be second, so that usually suggests that he wants that trip plus, so and we know that he'd won in Ascot Overs, and he ran in France, and the pace over a mile and a half, he looked like he needed a stronger mile and a half, so I think it's all up there really.
And with the winner, you wouldn't be worried either if it was the bit of cut in the ground and Longchamp, would you?
No, he handled the cut very well. He won in soft ground as a 2-year-old, his Group 1, I think the first 2 times, and then he won in soft ground at Leopardstown. So he's very versatile, and then obviously in Epsom and the Curragh was very good firm ground, and stay. So he's very versatile really.
And a better 4-year-old, do you think, the way he's built?
Has to be. He's massive, Lydia. So when they're that big, they have to be weak at 3. So he's definitely going to progress.
This is a lovely position to come out of the Great Voltigeur with the 1-2.
Exactly. Listen, I'm delighted for the lads, really delighted for everyone, and it's hard to win these races, and when they come together and win, like especially at somewhere like this, it's a great festival really.
Well, best of luck for the great race travel.
Thanks, Lydia. Thank you.